the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus heard of the death of John the Baptist, he withdrew in a boat to a deserted place by himself. The crowds heard of this and followed him on foot from their towns. When he disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, and he cured their sick. When it was evening, the disciples approached him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it is already late. Dismiss the crowds so that they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." He said to them, "There is no need for them to go away. Give them some food yourself." But they said to him, "5 loaves and 2 fish are all we have here." Then he said, "Bring them here to me." And he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to the disciples, who in turn gave them to the crowds. They all ate and were satisfied, and they picked up the fragments left over, 12 wicker baskets full. Those who ate were about 5,000 men, not counting women and children. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise be Jesus and Mary. When Jesus heard of the death of John the Baptist, he withdrew in a boat to a deserted place by himself. Brothers and sisters, in our gospel today, we see that although Jesus felt still the hurt, sabi nga, masakit, at namatay yung kanyang pinsan na si John the Baptist, but he does not linger too much on that sorrow. On the contrary, instead na mag-iiyak si Lord ng isang linggo, alam ko may mga tao dyan na kapag namatayan, minsan hindi lang isang linggo, baka isang buwan, isang taon, iniiyakan. Of course, sasabihin nyo, "Father, ano ka naman, sadista ka naman, Father." Bakit? Hindi ba, wala bang karapatan na umiyak? Of course, I do not say that we should not mourn. I do not say that we should not feel hurt when somebody or someone we love leave us. But, ayun, yung pa rin but, pero subalit datapwat bagamat, everything has its time. Di ba sabi nga sa Ecclesiastes, there is time for weeping, there is time for mourning. Merong panahon ng pag-iyak at meron panahon ng pagtahan. And Jesus gave us an example, a beautiful example. Although Jesus is hurting inside for the death of St. John the Baptist, and yet, what did he do? He first looked at the needs of others. Ayun. Gusto nyo bang mawala yung sakit ng kawalan? Jesus is giving us an advice and a counsel. Go and do good to others. Yun po. At alam nyo, sa totoo lang, mas mabuti pa na yung ating nararamdaman na sakit sa pagkawalay sa ating mga mahal sa buhay ay idinadaan natin sa pagtulong sa ating kapwa Kaysa magmukmuk tayo dun sa kwarto natin, sa harong natin, sa bahay natin. Nawala na siya. Diba? Kulang na lang, no? Tugtugin yung umiiyak ang aking pusong nagdurusa. Diba? Ngunit ayokong may makakita. No? Hindi po. Jesus is telling us, no? If we want to be healed, no? If we want to accept, of course, it is not easy to accept when someone died. Even me, no? Nung namatay yung nanay ko, pati na rin yung tatay ko, no? I'm also hurt. It is normal, it is natural, but it should have a limit. Meron dapat limit. And in order to heal, to accept it, we should do charity towards others. Unahin natin yung kapakanan ng iba. Tulungan natin, tabangan natin yung ibang tao. And see, time will heal us. And at the same time, di ba mas maganda yun? Kaysa magmukmuk ka dun sa kwarto mo, sa bahay mo, sa kaiiyak. Do good. Baka yung iyong paggawa ng mabuti, makatulong pa dun sa kaluluwa ng mahal mo sa buhay at madala mo pa siya sa langit. Di ba? And first thing you can do good for the soul of your family or your loved ones is to participate in the Mass. Magsimba ka, mangumpisal ka, magdasal ka, lalo ng rosaryo. So that, and to do acts of mercy, no? And it will help you. Even Saint Alphonsus, who is the doctors of the church and also the patron of confessors, if I'm not mistaken, no? And moral theology, no? Patron of moralists, Catholic moral theology, no? He said, no, that, no, our loved ones, no, they are also, they knew, they are not forgotten. No? May isang magandang palabas, di ko nasasabihin kung ano, baka mamaya, alam nyo na siguro. No? May isang magandang palabas, I think, sabihin ko na yung title, Coco. Sino sa'yo nakapanood ng Coco? No? Nanalo yun ng Oscar, I think, yes. It won as Best Animated Movies and it is worth it naman talaga, no? Although, yung spirituality ng Coco medyo konting lihis sa Catholic faith, pero may magandang doon May magandang sinabi o magandang aral, beautiful message. And what is it? Yung namatay yung tatay ni Coco o yung lola niya yata yung sabi niya, we do not die. Sabi niya, we do not die. We only die if we forget. Ang ganda. We only die when we forget. Yung ating mga mahal sa buhay na nagadan, namatay, they do not die. If we remember them always in our heart, no? Kapag lagi nating inaalala, lalong-lalo na pinagdadasal natin yung ating mga mahal sa buhay, no? Just like St. Alphonsus de Liguori said in his, I think, 12, yung libro niya, no? If we pray for them, they do not die because they remain in our hearts and we always remember them. When we always remember and pray for them, they do not die. They just change, sabi nga, di ba, sa funeral liturgy, you only change, place, no? Nagbago lang yung mo, but you still are alive. And sabi nga nung isang theologians na narinig ko, no, napakaganda yung kanyang reflection. Sabi niya, our brothers and sisters who is there in heaven, they are more alive than us. Sabi niya, mas buhay na buhay pa nga sila doon kaysa sa atin. No? Because they receive the life of Christ. Who is Christ? No? What is, sabi nga ni Lord, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No? So my brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters who died, they are not dead if we always remember them. They only die if we forget them, if we do not anymore pray for them. And the Catholic Church, that's why the Catholic Church is the best religious church. Wala nang ibang, sabi sa tingin ko, wala nang ibang simbahan ang mas gaganda pa sa simbahang Katoliko. Why? Because the church always reminds us of this in the Mass, every November 1, November 2, in funeral masses. The church always reminds us our loved ones are not really dead entirely. No. Because if we continue to remember them in the Mass, intention sa Mass, they are still with us in our hearts. They are not gone. And that is what Jesus also give us the example in our gospel today. Let us not waste and destroy ourselves crying and crying and crying. Sabi ko nga sa isang sister, sabi ko, sister, mag-move on ka na. Let time heals. Let time heals. Because many person, they still cannot accept. May kilala ko, ilang years na, namatay na yung anak niya, yung kanyang tatay. They can, every time na makita, sabi niya, Father, every time na maalala ko, umiiyak ako. Sabi ko, sister, sa tingin mo ba matutuwa yung anak mo at yung asawa mo na lagi mo na lang silang iniiyakan? Sa tingin mo ba makakatulong yun sa kanila at makakatulong yun sa iyo? Of course not. And so, let us move on. Let us remember them in our prayer. Let us do good to others. And let us be alive. Kaya nga, di ba, sabi sa charismatic alive, alive, alive forever. My Jesus is alive. No. So the church is alive. No one of us is dead entirely if we still remember our loved ones and remember them in our prayers. Praise be Jesus and Mary. Ave Maria. If you like this video, subscribe and share. Ave Maria.